Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Maria Kliavkov, and I am the founder and executive director of the Healthy Mourning Revolution, which is all about revolutionizing the way you look at grief and mourning, and we all do, so that we can learn how to convert our grief to mourning and move through the grief journey with ease and grace. So, today, what I want to talk about is gratitude in grief. This week is Canadian Thanksgiving. U.S. Thanksgiving isn't for a little while yet. And I want to talk about what gratitude looks like when you're in a grief journey, because it feels like there's nothing to be grateful for, right? There's this huge loss in your life, and it's really difficult to imagine a time when that loss isn't just going to be a gaping hole in your world. And so what I want to talk about is gratitude, not for the loss, obviously, but gratitude for the journey, gratitude for that inside discovery that helps us to take the next step and the next step and the next step. I talk a lot about that in the podcast this week, so if you get a chance, please go over to Healthy Mourning Revolution Radio and listen to the podcast. I have a connection link to that in the description here. But the thing that I discovered this week, and it was so much fun that I discovered it on Canadian Thanksgiving, is I learned that in Korea, Koreans also celebrate Thanksgiving. However, for them, their Thanksgiving celebration is very connected to the ancestors, where the family will take a pilgrimage to the family cemetery, or the area of remembrance of their loved ones, and they give gratitude to the ancestors for all that they've brought into their lives. And it's what a lovely Thanksgiving tradition. In fact, I'm thinking that this may become part of my tradition as well, because I just love it. In honor of that, what I did is I had gone to our family cemetery plot a while ago, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I was looking at my grandfather's dates, and I discovered that my grandfather was born in 1900, and I started processing some information around that for my grandfather, if he was born in 1900, then he was 11 to 14 in World War One. By the time he was in his 30s, he was in the Great Depression. He was in his 40s, well, by 39, really, for World War II. And my grandfather and our whole family lived in Hungary. And so in 1956, when he was 56 years old, he had to take just the smallest of things. He made the conscious choice to bring his entire family, and together they escaped. And he would have no idea whether they would survive that journey or not, or who amongst them would survive the journey. They were going to a country where they didn't speak the language. They were going to be, they were going to create a whole new life at the age 56. And so I started thinking of that in the context of my life, where I've led a very blessed and privileged life because of the choices that he made. So of course the gratitude becomes about the gratitude for the choices that the ancestors made to allow me to live the life that I live now. And my godparents, my godmother, of whom died very recently, a year ago, and my aunt, who died just a couple of months ago, the choices that they made and that their families made, and the life that I lead and that my cousins lead as a result of those choices, it's staggering, really. And such profound gratitude starts to seep into my body, and from the place of gratitude, I don't feel sadness for their loss. I feel grateful for their life. And that allows me to connect to their energy, and it allows me to make real again the choices that they made. And when I realized, my grandfather was 56 years old, that's 2 years older than I am now. I let you know what my age was. what's so interesting about that is that puts his life into a context that I can understand, and it makes me again so profoundly grateful. And I keep returning to this word grateful, because the reality is, when we can feel gratitude, it opens up in our heart, it opens up in our mind a space for other possibility. It opens up the possibility that I'm part of a larger continuum, which is again why I love this way of celebrating Thanksgiving in Korea, because it connects me to the past and it also invites me into my future. Healthy mourning is about having hope for the future, recognizing that this grief journey, when I stay present to it, when I utilize opportunities like this opportunity to connect with my ancestors and to express gratitude, then grief bursts that show up don't have to be this sad, debilitating thing. I don't live in a constant upset around it. Now, please don't misunderstand me. If you're early on in your grief journey, or if you've been bearing and carrying your grief, there's some work to do to get through to this other side, right? And the work is about converting the grief to mourning. The work is about ensuring that what we're feeling on the inside and what we've buried and carried with us can actually move forward, that we can actually step into the joy of our life, bringing with us the honoring and the celebration of the lives that have gone before. So I invite you to please think about how this works for you in your Thanksgiving celebrations. Think about how you might express gratitude this week for the people in your life who are no longer part of your physical world, but they're very much a part of your life and your history and your world moving forward. Because you know my favorite quote, death ends a life, not a relationship. Our job in our grief journey is to find where that relationship is now, celebrate that, and as we do that, we find that we can let go of the physical relationship with greater ease and grace. If this has been of help to you, if this has been supportive of your grief journey, then please like it, share it with friends, because we never know who in our circle is bearing and carrying grief and needs this information and needs to know how they can do some converting of grief to mourning. Please make sure to subscribe. Click the bell below so that you get notification every time we put up a new video. And join us on this journey. Join us in the Healthy Mourning Revolution. We are starting up another live launch. It's starting up on Monday, October 19th. If you're seeing this well into the future, then know we do live launches regularly. Go to healthymourning.com in order to get all of that information and to connect with me. If you want to give me some ideas for future YouTubes, please let me know. What would you like me to talk about, and I'll be happy to do so. Again, just go to healthymourning.com and you'll find all of the connections there. Much love to you, and much ease and grace to you in your grief journey. Namaste.